What if I told you that just one 5-minute daily habit increased my income by 40% in 12 months? Would you believe me? A year ago, I was struggling to pay rent with a bank account balance that barely reached 3 digits. Today, I'm going to reveal a simple secret that wealthy people deliberately keep hidden. This habit requires no startup capital, no special skills, and you don't even need to change your job. But it completely transformed my financial situation, taking me from earning $3,000 a month to adding an extra $40,000 to my annual income. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, tired of watching others succeed while you stay stuck in the same place, then the next 30 minutes will completely change the trajectory of your life. In this video, I won't give you any false promises or get-rich-quick schemes. Instead, I'm going to share 5 crucial things with you. First, my real story of being broke, those bills and moments of despair that kept me awake at night. Second, how I accidentally discovered this secret habit that 87% of high earners use. Third, the scientific principles behind why this habit is so incredibly effective. Fourth, detailed implementation steps so you can start today. And finally, I'll share 3 real case studies, including how a single mother doubled her income in just 8 months using this method. I'll also reveal the 5 most common mistakes that 99% of people make, but avoiding them will put you ahead of everyone else. Stay until the end, because I've prepared a free tool to help you track your progress and accelerate your results. Let me take you back to 18 months ago, when my financial situation was absolutely devastating. I had credit card debt piling up, bills I couldn't pay on time, and every night I'd lie awake calculating and recalculating numbers that never seemed to add up. The breaking point came on a Tuesday evening when I was at a convenience store trying to buy instant noodles, literally the cheapest food I could find, and my debit card got declined. The shame I felt standing there, holding a 99-cent package of noodles, while the cashier looked at me with pity, was overwhelming. That night, I sat in my car in that parking lot and realized that something had to change. I couldn't continue living this way, constantly stressed about money, always one emergency away from complete financial disaster. The fear wasn't just about being broke, it was about feeling completely powerless to change my situation. I had tried budgeting, I had tried side hustles, I had even tried those online courses that promise quick results, but nothing seemed to work. That's when I knew I needed to find a completely different approach. The discovery that changed everything happened purely by accident. I was spending time at the local library, partly because it was free, and partly because I was looking for any resource that might help me figure out my finances. I was randomly flipping through business books when I came across an interview with a successful entrepreneur. In this interview, he mentioned something he called his morning routine, but it wasn't about meditation or exercise like most people talk about. He said he spent 5 minutes every morning asking himself one specific question, and that this single question had been responsible for most of his business success. At first, I was skeptical. How could one question make such a difference? But I was desperate, and desperate people are willing to try anything, so I decided to test it for myself. The first week was frustrating because I didn't see any immediate changes, and honestly, I almost gave up. But something inside me said to stick with it just a little longer. Here's the habit that changed everything for me: the Value Creation Journal. Every morning, I spend exactly 5 minutes writing down my answer to this question: what value can I create for others today? This isn't just regular journaling. This is specific training for your brain to shift from consumer thinking to creator thinking. Most people wake up thinking about what they need, what they want, or what problems they're facing. But this habit rewires your brain to think about what you can give, what problems you can solve, and what value you can add to other people's lives. Here's exactly how to do it. You need any notebook, or even a phone app, the tool doesn't matter. What matters is that every morning, before you check your phone or start your day, you answer these 3 specific questions first. What extra value can I create for my employer or clients today? Second, what problem can I help someone around me solve? And third, what new skill can I learn that will increase my value? The key is to be specific and actionable. Don't write vague ideas like, "Be helpful." Instead, write things like, "I'll create a checklist for the new employee onboarding process," or "I'll learn how to use that software my team has been struggling with." The reason morning is crucial is because your brain is in what scientists call a default mode. It's most receptive to new patterns and creative thinking. This is when cortisol levels are naturally higher, which actually enhances focus and decision-making ability. Now, you might be wondering why wealthy people don't want you to know this. The truth is, when you start thinking like a value creator instead of just an employee or consumer, you become a threat to traditional power structures. You start seeing opportunities that others miss. You begin solving problems proactively instead of just following orders. You develop what I call owner thinking, even if you're an employee. This is exactly what happened to me. Within 3 months of starting this habit, I had identified several inefficiencies in my workplace and proposed solutions. Instead of just complaining about problems like everyone else, I was bringing answers. My manager started noticing me in a completely different way. I wasn't just another employee anymore. I was someone who made their job easier and the company more profitable. The science behind why this works is fascinating. Neuroscience research shows us that our brains have something called neuroplasticity, the ability to form new neural pathways based on repeated thoughts and behaviors. When you consistently ask yourself value creation questions, you're literally rewiring your brain to notice opportunities that were always there but invisible to you before. Psychology research supports this too. When you shift from what psychologists call a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset, your decision-making improves dramatically. Instead of thinking, "There's not enough for everyone," you start thinking, "How can I create more value for everyone?" This change in perspective affects every choice you make throughout the day. From a behavioral economic standpoint, this habit works because it's what researchers call a keystone habit, a small change that triggers a cascade of other positive behaviors. The 5-minute commitment is crucial because it's small enough that your brain doesn't resist it, but consistent enough to create lasting change. Let me give you a detailed implementation guide so you can start seeing results immediately in your first week. Focus solely on establishing the routine. Choose a specific time and place. I recommend right after you wake up, before you check your phone. Start with the simplest version of the 3 questions, and don't worry if your answers feel basic or obvious. The goal this week is just to build the habit, not to come up with groundbreaking ideas. You'll face resistance. Your brain will tell you this is pointless or that you don't have time. Push through this. Every successful person I know has learned to do things even when they don't feel like it. In weeks 2 through 4, start making your questions more complex and specific. Begin tracking which of your ideas you actually implement, and look for patterns in the types of value creation ideas you naturally gravitate toward. Some days, you won't have any ideas, and that's normal. On those days, just write, "I commit to looking for opportunities today," and move on. In your second month, this is where the magic happens. You transition from just recording ideas to actually executing them. Choose the most promising ideas and take action on them. Start building a feedback system to track which actions produce real results. Learn how to share your ideas with others in a way that positions you as a problem solver rather than someone who just complains about issues. For long-term success, you need strategies to avoid what I call habit fatigue. Every few months, review your journal entries and adjust your questions to keep them challenging and relevant. When you hit rough patches, and you will, remember that the habit itself is more important than having brilliant ideas every single day. Some advanced techniques include expanding from personal value creation to systematic value creation, where you look for ways to improve entire processes or systems, not just individual tasks. Let me share 3 real case studies that prove this method works for different types of people in different situations. First is Sarah, a single mother with 2 children, who was working as a cleaner and earning $2,800 a month. Sarah's challenge was finding time for this habit while managing her incredibly demanding schedule. She started doing her 5-minute journal session while her coffee was brewing each morning. Her breakthrough came when she noticed that her employers always seemed stressed about organizing their schedules and managing household tasks beyond cleaning. Instead of just cleaning and leaving, Sarah started proactively noticing what else needed attention and offering solutions. She began offering additional services like grocery shopping, appointment, scheduling, and home organization. Within 8 months, she had doubled her income and eventually started her own comprehensive home management service. The key lesson from Sarah's story is that value creation doesn't require advanced education or special skills. It requires observation and willingness to act on what you observe. The second case is Mike, a junior programmer who felt stuck in his career development. Mike was technically competent but felt invisible in his company. He started using the value creation habit to think beyond just completing his assigned coding tasks. Every morning, he'd ask himself how he could make his team more efficient, what processes could be improved, and what new technologies might benefit the company. This led him to proactively learn new frameworks that his team needed, create documentation that saved everyone time, and propose workflow improvements that significantly increased productivity. The unexpected result was that the CEO noticed his initiative during a company presentation where Mike demonstrated one of his process improvements. Mike was promoted directly to technical lead, skipping the usual hierarchical steps. His salary increased by 65% over 2 years, but more importantly, he discovered a passion for leadership and innovation that he didn't know he had. The third case study is Lisa, who worked as a marketing specialist but felt disconnected from her work. The value creation habit helped her identify a significant gap in the market for small businesses that needed digital marketing help but couldn't afford large agencies. Instead of just thinking about this gap, Lisa started offering free consultations to local businesses during her lunch breaks and weekends. She documented what worked and what didn't, building a portfolio of successful case studies. When she felt confident in her approach, she made the leap to start her own digital marketing consultancy. Today, her annual income is 200% higher than her previous salary, and she owns a thriving business with multiple employees. Lisa's story shows how value creation thinking can help you identify genuine business opportunities that align with your skills and market needs. Now, let me warn you about the 5 most common mistakes that can derail your progress. The first mistake is thinking too big right from the start. People try to solve world-changing problems instead of focusing on what they can directly influence today. Instead of trying to revolutionize your entire industry, start by improving one small process in your current role. The second mistake is recording ideas but never taking action. This habit can become just another form of procrastination if you don't implement what you write. Set up what I call an action ratio. For every 3 ideas you record, commit to executing at least one of them. Track your execution rate and hold yourself accountable. The third mistake is expecting immediate returns. When you don't see results after a few days or weeks, it's tempting to give up. Remember that compound effects take time to manifest. Focus on process metrics rather than outcome metrics in the beginning. The fourth mistake is trying to do this alone. Not sharing your ideas or seeking feedback limits your growth and makes it easier to quit when motivation drops. Find an accountability partner or join a community of like-minded people who are also focused on personal development. The fifth mistake is ignoring the feedback loop. If you don't track what works and what doesn't, you'll keep repeating ineffective strategies. Create a simple system to evaluate the effectiveness of your value creation activities and adjust your approach based on what you learn. For those ready to take this to the next level, here are some advanced techniques. First, learn to leverage your time by identifying value creation activities that have lasting impact rather than just immediate results. Look for ways to automate or systematize your value output so it continues benefiting others even when you're not actively working on it. Second, use your value creation to build a powerful professional network. When you consistently help others and solve problems, people remember you and want to reciprocate. This creates opportunities that you could never access through traditional networking. Third, practice strategic skill stacking by identifying which combinations of skills are most valuable in your field. Then, use your daily value creation questions to guide your learning priorities. Fourth, learn to quantify your value creation. Document your contributions with specific numbers and measurable outcomes. This becomes crucial during performance reviews, salary negotiations, or when seeking new opportunities. I've created several free tools to support your journey. There's a downloadable value creation journal template that makes it easy to get started, a progress tracking spreadsheet to monitor your consistency and results, a monthly review checklist to help you identify patterns and opportunities for improvement, and an action plan template for implementing your best ideas. You will find links to all of these resources in the description below. I also recommend specific books, online courses, and podcasts that dive deeper into the principles behind this method. Most importantly, I encourage you to connect with others who are on this same journey through online communities and local meetup groups focused on personal development and value creation. Let me quickly summarize the core concepts we've covered today. First, the Value Creation Journal is a simple 5-minute morning habit that retrains your brain to shift from consumer thinking to creator thinking. Second, this isn't about working harder, it's about thinking smarter. When you actively look for value creation opportunities every day, opportunities naturally find you. Third, science tells us that repeated thought patterns change your neural pathways, which is why consistency matters more than intensity. Fourth, remember those 3 daily questions. What extra value can I create in my work? What problems can I help others solve? What can I learn to increase my value? Finally, avoid those 5 common mistakes, especially expecting immediate results. Remember, my 40% income increase didn't happen overnight, but when it did happen, it felt like it was overnight. The compound effect is real, and your value creation mindset will bring you unexpected opportunities and rewards in the coming months and years. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me, what's your biggest financial challenge right now? Is it lack of promotion, opportunities? Do you want to start a side business but don't know where to begin? Or are you like I was, feeling trapped in financial difficulties with no clear way out? Share your situation, and I'll personally respond to some comments with specific value creation suggestions tailored to your circumstances. Also, if you decide to start this 21-day value creation challenge, write, "I accept the challenge" in the comments so our community can cheer you on. I'm curious to see how many people will actually take action, rather than just feeling motivated for a moment. If this video provided value to you, please hit that like button so YouTube will recommend it to more people who need this information. Imagine how your one click might change someone else's financial situation. Subscribe to my channel because I share practical financial strategies like this every week. not theory, but methods that my students and I have actually tested and proven. Make sure to ring the notification bell so you don't miss any content that could transform your financial situation. Most importantly, download the free value creation journal template from the video description. Don't wait until tomorrow or next Monday. Start today. 97% of people will watch this video and then continue with their regular lives, but 3% will take immediate action. The difference between successful people and everyone else isn't information, it's action. If you want more intensive guidance, I just launched a 30-day Value Creation Accelerator course with one-on-one feedback and community support. The link is in the description, but spots are limited. Remember, 1 year from now, you'll thank yourself for taking action today. Your future begins with this 5-minute habit. I'll see you in the next video. Keep creating value.